Hello, Motivated Vision family. I just wanted to come here for a little chit chat. And I kind of want to just elaborate on, a post I also made of me saying that I had to take a week and not post anything or not write anything because I just go through doubts sometimes. And sometimes I feel like I go through doubts of my confidence and I don't want it to come off as, me having too much pride or come off as, me knowing everything or just having it like I know it all because I don't. But sometimes, I feel like I want to stay as humble as possible. And I'm one of the most humblest people, but, I always want that to be conveyed also. But I also tell myself, like, I can't assume what other people think and I can't control what other people think. And I'm not saying that other people think that, but I'm saying that, there has been times that I've gone through doubt in my mind of, I guess, how people say, don't dumb yourself down. I've been urged to do that a lot because, yes, I am a person that like to motivate other people, but I need motivation too. I go through things too. And, I always want that conveyed. And I think to myself, well, I don't want to come off as too of a strong of a person or come off as too confident and kind of want to dumb myself down. But that's also not a good thing either, because that puts a lot of fear or doubt in my own mind. And I had to take a step back and a week back. And I was like, I want everything I do to come off as genuine because I'm a genuine person. But, it took me even time to even feel like, I have purposes or I have gifts or, I can make change. Because I was like, well, I don't want to come off as this or as that. But like, I have to get comfortable in my own skin, get comfortable in, how gifted I am at writing and motivating and just where my heart is at. And, I had to tell myself, like, I don't have to dumb myself down, but, I'm allowed to feel confidence. I'm allowed to feel confident in what I write or what I say because these are genuine things. But there are times where I have to motivate myself and I have to pray more and I have to talk to God more. And, I'm like, God, even though I have confidence in myself, that confidence had to be built up. And I don't never want to come off as too prideful. I don't want people to look at me and be like, oh, well, she got it all together because I just don't. And, you know, I kind of mix that in with feeling like, am I coming off too prideful? Am I coming off too hard? Am I coming off too whichever? And, I just had to think about that and just I feel like, I mix the two sometimes. I mix the, you know, pride versus confident versus coming off humble versus all that. And I know I'm not the only one. And it makes you, feel unworthy sometimes. And it just, builds up doubt and all type of things. And, you know, I I'm like, God, like I just want to serve and I want to provide, but I also want to be real and as real as possible to say, sometimes my confidence is diminished. Sometimes, my faith is diminished. Sometimes I go through my stuff and I want to make sure I always come on here and speak about it, but I also don't want it to make me dumb myself down or cause doubts and unnecessary fears. Even though, as I always say, like you're a person, you're a human being, you're going to have doubts and you're going to have fears, but like it almost stopped me from doing things. And I took a whole week off. I made a video about it. I took a whole week off and just was like, let me get my mind together. Let me get my heart together. I want to make sure my intentions are always right. Because when it comes to social media, you see so much of things, of people just doing things, you know, for personal gain or unintentionally or whichever, and you don't want to be mixed into that. And you get, well, I know I do. I can't speak for everybody, but I know I worry about that sometimes. Like, am I coming off too hard? Am I not sounding as genuine or whichever? And I know I am, but I'm very aware of what I put out and how I'm viewed and things like that. Aware, but like I say, I don't want it to tear me down and to say, well, do you want to look perfect? Because like I say, I can't control how people feel. I can't control what they may think, but I also can't create it in my mind either. And, I just wanted to just step back and think about it because I do that a lot. Mix up, confidence and saying things with confidence and portraying something with confidence that I really believe in, but then not wanting to feel like I'm being too prideful about it, or, not wanting to come off as she got it all together. And it's a real feeling. And like I say, part of it, can be doubt. And, I bring it to God every time, like, God, just as much as I can, just help me, in my mind, always come off with the best intentions, always stay humble as possible. Not saying I don't make mistakes, not saying, in my mind or my thoughts, I, sometimes don't feel a certain type of way about things or whichever, because I'm human. But, you know, make sure I as I am, come as I am. And I don't know about any of you, but like, do you ever feel like that? Like, you don't want to come off as too prideful, or you don't want to come off as, you know, too much put together, and you kind of want to dumb yourself down and get that urge to dumb yourself down a little bit, and, not want to put too much of your creative abilities out or so much of your gifts or things like that. And you know, just have that urge, and doing a disservice to yourself, and also doing a disservice to others too. And that's the pro and the con of it. The pro is you're keeping yourself humble, but the con of it is, doing a disservice to yourself and doing a disservice to your others, because you can help others and you can give others confidence, but you're not confident within yourself, because you're like, I don't want to come off as too prideful, but then you're not giving. You're not giving to yourself, and you're not giving to others. So, what do you do? Me personally, I take it to God, like, God, this is what I'm feeling. And, just guide me. Guide me into doing what I can and being real and being as humble as I can. I can't, if someone else feels a certain type of way about it, I can't control that, but I know, what I put out. But having that urge sometime, like not to be misconstrued or whichever, and feeling the need to maybe dumb yourself down. And it also goes into not feeling worthy. It's a tangle sometimes. It's a tangle. And like I say, I come on here and I motivate everybody because I gotta motivate myself. Like, I say these things to myself. I really, really do. I got to double up on my prayers sometimes. And, we human, and I'm human. And I just want to know, do anybody feel like that sometimes? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But I want to thank you for tuning in to my little chit chat. And if you like my content, if you like me, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Vanessa. I come on as Motivated Vision, but this is Vanessa.